church and became Bishop of Cloyne after its return to England. As a representative of the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel in Foreign Places, shortened the SPG, his mission was clear: to spread the missionary objectives of the Church of England. He and his family lived here for 3 years. And when you come on a tour, we can tell you which came first, possibly the chicken or the egg, the front or the back, the side or one side. We still have lots of questions on preservation and the architecture. But in those 3 years of his life here, he left an indelible mark on Newport. This was still part of Newport at that time. Upon leaving the area, Berkeley gave the property to Yale College. The rents for the property were to support student scholarship. A brief history of how Whitehall was acquired by the Dames. On August 14th, in 1897, the right of first refusal was given to the Dames to take possession of this house by Farmer Brown, who had the leasehold through Yale. The Dames provided for financial support for the work of the Whitehall Committee at the time. And in 1899, the property was conveyed to Mrs. Mason, a trustee of the Dames, through a 999-year lease. It was an abandoned structure. It was used as a shelter for animals and storage. There was hay in the attic, in the second floor. There were animals all through the first floor, and it was a wreck. We have pictures of it. In 1900, Whitehall was opened after they cleaned it up and got the animals out to the public for the first viewing, which is our cause for celebration today. On June 14th, 1902, the Dames voted to accept the valuable gift of the Whitehall property from the committee, and the deeds indicate that the property recognize and honor Bishop Berkeley's contributions to philosophy and scholarship. So that's why we continue today with these scholarship programs. Dames records and the guest books will tell you the tale from that point on, and we have the first guest book that Alan has been looking at this summer. It's open and displayed in this room. Fast forward, the resident visiting scholar program was established in 1936 after the tricentennial restoration of Whitehall by Norman Isham. Thanks to Alan, we have a record of all who have lived here during the summer months since then, keeping Whitehall open to the public. Alan and Shelley, along with their 2 daughters, Chloe and Sage, have lived here 8 times since 2006. 8 summers with very little electricity. This summer, Alan, who's the current chair of the philosophy department at Swarthmore College, has spent the last 8 weeks here, 4 days each week. He and Shelley kindly offered to give their time this summer to expand time for Whitehall being open to the public, which amounted to over 100 extra hours of visibility to the public, and we've managed to have quite a tour going through. We can't thank you enough for your commitment to Whitehall and making Berkeley's philosophy understandable. Has anybody ever read Berkeley? Has anybody tried to read Berkeley?
If a tree falls in the forest.
That's right, the tree falls there. But there are lots of other ones in there too. So to give a bit of background on Alan, he's a professor of, as I said, professor of philosophy at Swarthmore College, currently the department chair. Growing up in England, Alan studied at the University of Cambridge and graduated in 1991 with honors first class in philosophy. From there, he moved to the United States to study at Princeton University, earning his master's degree in 1995 and his PhD in 1999. His dissertation is the indispensability and the existence of mathematical objects. Did I say it right? So, it's an interesting topic. No wonder you love Berkeley. His areas of specialization are philosophy of mathematics and philosophy of science. Concurrently with his position at Swarthmore College, he's an associate fellow at the CABDN, which stands for the Complex Agent-Based Dynamics Networks at the University of Oxford. His teaching experience is broad. Along with his work at Swarthmore and Oxford, he's taught in Denmark, Estonia, Xavier University, and Ghana. A true scholar, Alan contributes to the study of philosophy through his authoring and researching books for publications. He consults and gives lectures. Did I mention? Alan is also a shogi champion. Shogi is a Japanese form of chess, and he's competed at both the national and international level. Which brings us to today. Whitehall is a special place, conducive to study and reflection. Once you sit here for a while, you sort of get into the zen of it. Alan, when not giving tours, has been researching the background to Berkeley's Bermuda project and how his plans for Bermuda tie into the other aspects of his philosophy and what happened and didn't happen in Bermuda in the years following his time in Rhode Island. Please join me in welcoming Alan Baker, our visiting scholar.
Thank you, Betsy, for the introduction. Thanks, everyone, for coming. I'll try and speak up. If you can't hear me, let me know. So this is going to be low tech. I'm not going to be using notes or visuals or anything. Also, it's fine if I say something unclear or maybe even false, and you have a question. I'm happy to also pause the questions, and then we'll also have questions at the end. So feel free to raise a hand if I say something puzzling. Yeah, so as Betsy mentioned, I'm going to be talking a bit about Berkeley's philosophy and a bit about Berkeley as a man and about his projects. So I'm going to give you some philosophy. I'm a philosopher, but don't worry, it's not going to be too philosophy heavy, because a lot of what I've been looking at recently has actually been more about the history of what Berkeley was doing here as much as about his philosophy. So in some ways, a standard narrative that started to be established pretty soon after Berkeley died in the 1750s was that he was a great man, but he'd also been responsible for the two big projects in his life were in a sense failures. All right, so what he's best known for is his philosophy of immaterialism or idealism. So this is the radical view that the physical world is not real. So that the flagpole, the tree, the chairs you're sitting on, those don't really exist. Right? In Berkeley's view, all we have is the sensations of things. So the world is a world of ideas, right? So there's no tree there. There's our collective perceptions of a tree. Okay? This is immaterialism. So he denies the physical and says everything is mental. Right? So this was a radical view, and it was a view that was taken seriously, and it's what made him famous as a philosopher. So by the time he comes to Whitehall in his 40s, he's published 3 works of philosophy on immaterialism, and he's a big deal in the world of European philosophy. But when I say the narrative is one of failure, no one actually